Independent Scotland would rejoin European Union. Sturgeon.
Here's a summary of the article.
An independent Scotland would rejoin the European Union and redesign the energy market, according to a new economic prospectus. Last week Sturgeon announced plans, which will feature in the document, for an oil fund which she said would deliver up to £20 billion of investment within the first decade of Scotland becoming independent. In 2016 all 32 local authority areas in Scotland voted for remain in the EU referendum by 62% to 38%. The Scottish vote contrasted with the overall UK vote to leave by a margin of 52% to 48%. At the time the First Minister said it was clear that people in Scotland saw their future as part of the European Union. Speaking ahead of the new paper's publication, Sturgeon said, "This is not a debate about change versus status quo. There is no status quo, and Scotland cannot afford to live under Westminster control any longer. In 2014 we were promised stability if we voted no to independence. Instead we got austerity and Brexit, and are now being taken on a libertarian joyride." Sturgeon said there was overwhelming evidence that neighbouring, comparable independent countries were wealthier, more productive, fairer and happier than Scotland is under Westminster. Sturgeon added, "I will never pretend that everything about independence is easy, but the potential prize open to us means it is more than worth it, for us and for future generations. We must never forget that we already have many of the key institutions that an independent country needs, and coupled with our strong economic foundations and immense potential, probably no country in history has been better prepared to become independent than Scotland will be." A UK government spokesperson said, "People in Scotland want their governments to be focused on the issues that matter to them, growing our economy, ensuring our energy security, tackling the cost of living and supporting our friends in Ukraine against Russian aggression. This is simply not the time to be talking about another independence referendum."
This post received a score of 16,000, with an upvote ratio of 94%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Greater than the UK government said now was not the time to be talking about a new independence vote. I wonder if there will ever be a good time to talk about independence.
I'd say with Truss at the helm now is a really good time to GTFO.
This is like guns in the US. Every time there a mass shooting the cons say, right after a mass shooting is not a good time to talk about gun laws? Except they have a mass shooting nearly every day. So it's never a good time? Then, same thing here, but hopefully the Scottish can tell the UK to frick off and just go join the EU.
Same with raising taxes. Economy doing good? We can't talk about raising taxes now because it will kill growth. Economy doing bad. We can't talk about raising taxes because it will make things worse.
Greater than independent Scotland would apply to rejoin European Union. Actual headline. Spot the key difference.
People think that joining the EU is like applying for a gym membership.
My country had to jump through hoops to get in. But we had post-communist laws and constitution. We had a lot of catching up to do to join. We applied in '95, EU set the targets, we hit them and joined in 2004. Scotland would have a much easier time since they are already hitting most of the targets, or are close to it, and have more or less EU-compatible set of laws.
Well, keep in mind that Spain might block Scotland from joining. They would have to recognise Scotland's independence as legitimate, which may not happen considering Spain has their own independence movements in Catalonia. I am pretty certain Spain has actually said they would have no problem with it because their position is that if Scotland were to win independence via a referendum then it would have been via a constitutional route that allowed them to legally leave. Their position is that Catalonia trying to leave has no mechanism to achieve such independence, so they are not the same situation. Here is an article one went and found that says as much too.
Exactly. Scotland and England already have legal frameworks in place to allow such things hypothetically. Spain does not.
Some people just don't realize how this is a perfect chance to undo Brexit without losing face. Let Scotland go independent. Let Scotland join the EU. Then join Scotland.
I really wish they could just start talking about how the whole Brexit shit was because of Russian influence and that they need to backpedal on that stuff. I guess that's not how politics work, but I wish that kind of state of things could somehow be achieved.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.